Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Check That Post podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and this is my co-host,
Marjorie.
And tonight we're going to be talking about exploring sexual boundaries in a relationship and how that can go either right or wrong, depending on how you look at it. So, before we get started, let's get a few technical issues worked out. I don't think my mic is on. Testing. Mic check. Mic check. Give us a moment, y'all. Let us get these mics together. Mic check. Testing. 1, 2, testing. Okay, there we go. Testing 1, 2. All right. So, Marjorie, how was your day today?
It was good.
Is your mic on? Check your mic.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
My day was good.
I had a pretty good day today. Today was my Friday, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. It's really good.
So, we're going to go ahead and get into the conversation. We are expecting Queen, so she'll be in as soon as she get here. And my voice is acting up a little bit, so I try to talk as loud as I can because I lost my voice over the week. But anywho, understanding your desires. So exploring sexual boundaries is about when you feel that you're being pressured to maybe perform in a way that makes you uncomfortable. And you have to set a boundary and let your significant other know that you're not comfortable performing that act, so to speak. And there's ways to do it. You don't have to be mean and nasty about it. You can, just have that hard conversation and let them know what you like and what you don't like. We also have to kind of phrase it in a way that it won't trigger the algorithm to shut us off like it did once before because of certain words that we're saying. So y'all gonna have to just read between the lines, okay? We'll do the best we can. Can y'all hear us out there? Let us know if you can hear us. Hello? Can you hear us? Is it on? Okay. All right, we'll continue on. Communicate very clearly. Misunderstandings can arise from the lack of clear communication. Being honest and open with what you desire and what you do not desire establish a foundation for mutual respect and understanding. So if he respects you and value your worth, then he's going to be okay. He's going to be understanding if you tell him you don't like certain things or the way he do certain things or the way she do certain things make you uncomfortable. This goes for the male as well as the female. It don't have to necessarily be just on the female side. If he's making you uncomfortable, don't do it. You have that right to say no. You have that right to ask him to stand down. Come on in, Queen. Happy to have you here. And, well, you want to say something before I go on? I can take over.
I mean, sometimes having that conversation about boundaries is hard because you have to think about it like it's so, the saying is many fish in the sea.
Yes.
It's so many other people that's willing to do stuff that you might not be willing to do. So it's like that's a lot of pressure to have that conversation. Not saying it can't be done, but it's a lot of pressure that comes with it at times because it's like,
Excuse me, baby. Turn one of the speakers off and see if that helps. Hey, Queen, you want to chime in?
Hello.
Tell people, hey. Okay, I don't know if that helped or not. But go ahead with what you were saying.
but it's like, yeah, you want to have that. You may want to have that conversation. You may want to be more reserved. Fine, understandable. You do have that right, but that right comes with a risk. Like you never know what the other partner is gonna feel like after you express your concerns. They might not be satisfied with that, and you might risk possibly even ending your relationship over y'all's sexual incompatibility. Like sex is a high demand in this day and age, and it's so easy to come by. And I'll say, for me, speaking from my personal experience, I've learned to become more open sexually, and that has helped me in more ways than just the bedroom. Like, I actually ended up feeling more comfortable with myself as a woman.
Yes.
So, if you can push yourself to the limit to be more open, try it out and see. I say try that first instead of just giving a hard no. At least try it first and see if it works for you. That way you can say, well, I tried it and it's just still a no for me. Or you can say, I tried it and dang, I like it. You know?
You just never know.
I say at least try. At least try.
Yeah, because it's hard to say what you like and don't like if you never tried it.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, and another thing, if you have like past trauma, you know, from childhood or even as an adult, if you went through something traumatic, try to work through those issues because that could hold you up sexually as well. So the more you deal with your trauma, you'll be able to separate trauma. You won't combine trauma and pleasure together.
Right.
And that's something I experienced too. I had to learn to separate the two. So certain people that I was with in the past that took advantage of me, you know, sexually, I kept tying it in with all my sexual experiences. But over time, I've learned the difference. Like every sexual kink or whatever you want to call it, it's not trauma. It's, you know, some of it is pleasurable. So it's a wonderful thing to discover.
A lot of times you might grow up in a household where sex is not discussed.
Right.
You have no idea when you get with a partner what's going to happen or what's going on. You're just there. And you have to figure it out as you go. Not a good experience.
Right.
But you ask questions and you express. But first of all, you got to get to know you. Get to know your own body and what you like and what you don't like before sharing it with someone else. Because if you don't know yourself, how you gonna know one way or the other? You know, you can't teach him if you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
And getting to know you on a one-on-one personal level before getting with someone, that I think that's key. That way, when you do get with someone, you can say, well, I don't like it when you do such and such, or see, how can I put this where I'm not out of line? I like it better if you do certain things this way or that way. And you can, like, that's too rough, you know, don't be so rough, or be gentle, or whatever. Y'all get point. Y'all, we all grown up in here. Oh, that's not okay. I hear you. You want to speak on that a little bit?
I mean, sometimes, you know, a stronger touch, you know, it can activate certain, you know, feelings within yourself, certain passions that wasn't unlocked before. You can't patty cake everything. Sometimes you gotta grip that thing, you know.
So like rough stuff on it.
Right, rough it up a little.
Quinn, you want to add anything to that?
Sort of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, getting to know yourself, it's just so much importance. And once you know yourself, it plays major roles. You don't have nothing to be ashamed about because you know you. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. You have to fall in love with yourself. You fall in love with your body, and as parents, when we have children, the best thing we could have done is try to teach from our experience. And a better thing is, to teach your children and even your grandchildren how to love their bodies. Because when I was growing up, I hated everything about my body. It just, because we never was taught how to love our bodies or be in love with our bodies. We never was taught how to compliment, whether we look good or not, not speaking positive things. And so being around a male, I felt ashamed of my body. There was nothing wrong with it. I was just a regular kid, growing up with, things poking out that, and so, and it's just like from my upbringing made us look at it differently. Like, we wasn't supposed to admire ourselves, or say to our sister, hey sis, you look good, that look good on you. Or even our brothers, I don't remember telling my brothers they was handsome, but
No. We were the opposite. Big
we did. That's how we talk to each other, and things about ourselves, we say it about it, to them, but it's definitely plays a great role in our lives now. I wish I've had that experience with my parents where they allowed me to explore my own body, like, what's this for? What's that for? Instead of being told I was fast or talking about things that I shouldn't have been talking about, but it was my body. Things was happening to my body, and I needed to know those things, And so life is so strange, and everybody got their own way, and how they do things, even with their children. And sometimes people think, well, if I don't talk about it, if I keep them at a standpoint, I can keep them from doing things. But that only make them more curious, and they say, they trotting off to doing, certain things. So, but yeah, if it don't feel good, you don't like it, then don't do it.
Right.
Don't get mad, at the person, and don't allow the person to get mad at you if you can help it, because if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good, and you ain't gonna get no enjoyment out of something hurting you.
Exactly. And you got to speak up and let them know.
Yeah, you do, because if you don't, they just gonna keep on, and I'm like, no, you got to get up. You got to stop doing whatever you doing, because I don't like pain.
Yes. And no always mean no. No exception.
No exception.
No exception. If she tell you no, you got to stop, whether you like it or not. Because she have that right over her body. Well, they trying to change things. They trying to take that right from you.
Right.
We ain't finna go there because we don't do politics. But we ain't dumb either. We hear everything everybody else hear.
Right.
So better get out and vote. You want to keep the right over your own body.
Right.
But when someone try to force you to do something that's uncomfortable for you, then that's a problem. That person don't care nothing about you. They just want what they want. They selfish. But you always have the right to push them back and, no, we're not finna go there because that don't make me feel. It might feel good to you, but it don't feel good to me. So set your boundaries. Let them know we're not finna do that today. Okay.
And another thing about the boundaries, which again is easier said than done, but I've learned from my mistake. Like if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have put myself in a position to be in certain situations. Like if I knew that, or if I would have took the time to think, you know, I would not have been somewhere secluded with certain people. Try to be in a, like if you're going to hang out with friends or something, do it in a public setting, especially if you're not fully comfortable, because that moment when you get alone, it's not going to be easy to just say no when that person's drive is all the way up here and they ready to, you know, do it at all costs. And then they'll even try to gaslight you and make you feel like, well, you did this, this, and that. You knew what you was getting yourself into, blah, blah, blah. Even if you didn't know, you know, Netflix and chill is not Netflix and chill if you did not know. So sometimes you have to take extra precaution. And even if you have to be called a female dog over it, I mean, don't let those words get to you. Stand your ground.
Right.
Be in environments where you're comfortable. If you don't trust that person, you know, out in a public setting, then that's not a person you need to be somewhere alone with. And that's period.
And parents, talk to your children, explain to them what's going on with their own bodies, because if you don't talk to them and if the street teach them, it's not going to be a good lesson.
Right.
So you want to be the one to set them down and talk to them and let them know what to expect when they get in a relationship. Of course, when they get to the age where they can accept that and understand and where you're coming from. You don't want to be talking to them too early about the birds and the bees. Like, wait till you feel like they ready. And this, use your own judgment as a parent to know when to have that conversation. Nobody can tell you how to raise your child. You have to be the one to use your own judgment on it.
Right.
Because I know, I kept it real with my kids. Because I just knew that I went in blind. My kids was not going to go in blind. They was going to see it coming, or they going to see it coming. Like, I wasn't playing with that. Because we have so many people out here that even family members are taking advantage of children. Right. And they need to be made aware. They can't have blinders on. And I'm not saying don't trust your loved ones and all that, but just be aware. That way, it won't be so easy for somebody to get away with something that they shouldn't be doing. Right. So have that hard conversation, sit them down, get a medical book. At least that's what I did. I know y'all do things different now. But I opened that book up, I showed them pictures, and I talked to them. Like, and they was at an age where they could understand. So they took it in. So now whatever can come back and say, well, Mom, you didn't tell me. Yes, I did.
Right.
Oh, yes, I did. And I think I still got that book. So if they say, I didn't tell them, I can bring that. Okay, you remember this? You remember this part right here? Oh, yeah, I told you. So, but I don't think they got no issues because they grown and got their own kids. So I'm hoping they having that conversation with their kids. And if they not, then that means I'm going to have the conversation for them with their kids. Either way, at least they would know how the world really works.
And don't let the TV be the one to teach your kids either. You know, if you're going to be sitting down watching rated R movies or not paying attention to what they are watching, just even on the TV show, the sitcoms and all, you know, make sure you're watching what your children are watching you know, because if you sitting down watching it with them, you best believe when you're not there, they're watching it, you know.
Yep.
And you don't want to start something that has them learning stuff too fast, because you might be able to stop them sometimes, but if you don't get a hold to it ahead of time, what will happen is it'll go on to bigger things like porn. And so you don't want to have your children mixed up into any of that either. So watch what they're watching.
Yeah, and if you do have those videos in your, well, I don't know what they is, or they could be CDs, I don't know, I don't watch them.
Or books.
But your books, if you do have it in your possession, treat it like it's a weapon, because that's what it is. You don't want to weaponize them in that type of way either.
Right,
So don't forget about that. Put them up somewhere where they can't get to them, because there's no need for a child before puberty to see that.
Yes.
Like, even afterwards, when they're not ready, they don't need to be seeing that. It's enough on TV. And then also, even some of the cartoons that the babies are watching are doing stuff that they really shouldn't be doing. I mean, they just put it in their face.
Right.
And, like, at this day and time, ain't nothing hidden anymore. Like, everything is out in the open. So you want to do what you can do. You know, some things, like if they're away at school and being shown stuff that they shouldn't be shown, like, that's kind of out of your control because you're not there. But if you instill those values within them, then they'll be the one to tell the other kids they trying to show them something. No, I don't want to see that. I'm too young, or whatever. You know, if you're talking to your child, you don't have to worry about when you're not in their presence how they're gonna act, because that's gonna be instilled within them to know right from wrong, and they're gonna feel that, you know, this don't feel right, and 9 times out of 10 they'll come back and they'll tell you.
Right.
But if you're not talking to them and you just assuming that they can't get hold to stuff, then you being naive. Yeah, on a rock or something.
Absolutely. And open those doors. Don't just assume that the kids are in there not doing anything, like they just sleep.
Right.
Open the doors. If they have brothers and sisters in the they have the share room with, you definitely need to be opening the doors. I don't like the doors to be shut in my house, you know, because I feel like, you know, I'm not going to allow things to happen on my watch if I can help it there.
Right.
So I like for the doors to be open when my grandchildren are there. You know, when they think I'm asleep, that's during the time I'm up walking, looking, and making sure that things are the way that they're supposed to be.
Yes. And when kids come over to study, they say, well, we just going to study. Make sure the door is open. There ain't no need for you being there studying with the door closed. Like, what's up with that?
Absolutely.
Like, we wasn't born last night.
Right.
You know what y'all trying to do?
Matter of fact, go to that kitchen table and study.
Yes. Yeah. So I can see and hear.
Exactly. You might want to put some monitors in the room.
And y'all married couples, or even if you ain't married, y'all couples that's got these little kids, and y'all doing y'all grown up stuff, even if you got the door closed, trust me, they do come to the door and listen.
Yes.
So you want to be keep a watchful eye out for that too, because they'll sure tell you. I heard y'all in there.
What's that noise?
Yeah.
Laughing about.
They had a nerve to make the same sound that you was making. You know, sound like a cat. Then they be like, where that cat at? Or the daddy does sound like, woo, woo. They be like, Mama, I heard a dog barking. They ain't no dummies. They know what's up. They might not know, but they know.
They suspicious.
They suspicious.
Yeah, and they definitely gonna ask.
Yes.
But yeah, that's we can really go deeper with that conversation. I'm gonna try to stay on point. You gotta respect others' limits. Like if y'all into that freaky stuff, have that safe word. So if well, I don't know if I should be describing it, but y'all in the ropes and chains, I should say. You better have something to say. Hold up now. I'm done. Tap out, or whatever the words you gotta say. You better say something.
Right.
Accidents do happen.
Yeah.
And if you all caught up in your feelings, something could go real wrong real quick. We don't want that for you. So know your limits, your safe words.
And have the conversation before you even get into that type of thing, because if they can't hear you out like while y'all are talking, they're not gonna hear you out in the moment.
Right.
So yeah.
And I don't know why it's got to hurt anyway. It's supposed to be pleasurable. So don't be up in there, you know. Well, I wouldn't want nobody to have no ropes around me, no chains around me, none of that kiki stuff, you know. Don't be hurting me. What for?
Some people like pain. Some people. But we ain't judging, because you do you like what you like. But over here, we ain't with that.
Yeah.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with it. That's what you like.
Like that. Some of them.
Yeah. You got your safe word.
I actually do, yeah.
Okay, well, good. You need to have that.
Ain't been used yet.
Yes. Okay, shoot, I done lost my spot. But they have like all these challenges going on now. I don't know if y'all have seen them on social media, especially on TikTok. You know, they putting everything out there. And a lot of times, I've learned of one that is so disgusting and so, again, not judging, you do you. But to me, I can speak on it. But it's called, let me see, I wrote it down so I don't forget it. And I'm not going to go into a definition. I'm going to let y'all grown-ups go look it up. But I'm sure y'all done heard it. I'm just learning it. So, 'cause y'all know stuff come out really fast. I don't know if y'all ever heard of snowball kiss and rainbow kiss. Well, y'all can look it up later.
Okay, yeah. I kind of am visualizing something, but if we're not going to describe it, then I can't ask my question.
It's kind of gross, so I don't think we should be describing it.
Yeah.
But anything else on the topic before I go to the digital? Because it's kind of long.
Well, I mean, like you said, if that's your kink, then that's your kink. Your kink doesn't have to be somebody else's kink. Obviously, if you're comfortable enough to do that, if I'm thinking of the right thing, it's got to be with somebody you're somewhat attracted to. Because the more attraction you have, the more open you are to even trying different things anyway. Like, nobody's going to want to do stuff or be open to do stuff with somebody they're, disgusted about. So, yeah.
And nobody's saying that you got to be a prude or what's the other word? Where you just one way and boring. There's many ways to keep the fires burning. Like, you don't have to get into all that crazy stuff.
No, you don't.
There's so many ways, and I done tried them all. But I always saying, whatever you do, be careful doing it. Think of your health. Because this new stuff that they got talking about doing the snowball kiss, the rainbow kiss, it's changing bodily fluids like that. Like, that is just, ugh. Yeah. Like, why would you? But again, if you like it, I love it. Do you? But y'all grown-ups, go check that out and have that conversation with your teenagers, because I think them the ones that are doing it. we didn't do stuff like that growing up. Like, things are just so different.
They are.
And it's like wow, where we going with all this?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with expressing your sexuality. You feel sexy and you know, you wearing the tight clothing. Now they don't want to wear no clothes at all. Like, where are we going? Why is everything so exposed? Why is that? Like, where is this world headed to the point where we got to just go out naked? Like, you see people going into Walmart and just everything just exposed, coming out in their underwear. Like, we didn't do stuff like that.
Right. We had some decency about
Yes. What happened to leaving stuff to the imagination? Like, what man wants to see, want to get to know a woman that everybody done seen everything she got? What's the jewel in that? Everybody done seen it. And then in their mind, they get to thinking everybody done had it. Like, you community. No, sis. You ain't got to expose everything. And then we talk about, we want a good man this and we want a good man that. But you exposing everything. What are you offering? What is your value to him? If everybody done seen what you got.
Right.
Again, no judgment. Do you. Just check yourself.
But
But
I
if you
also
like
think
it,
that goes
we love
back
it.
to the what one person, I'll say person, won't do, another will.
True.
So like out in the open, they might look down on her or whatever, but behind closed doors, those same men might be all up in her inbox trying to get with her. They actually secretively like stuff like that. And you'd be surprised how many people, even people with good reputations in their community, they discreetly have all types of kinks. You just never know until you're on the other side of the spectrum. So every man that's walking around saying they like their women like this, that, and blah, 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 that's not the only side. And same with women. Like, sometimes women can say they want their man to be this, this, and that, and whatever. And then you flip the script, and they got some underlying kink that they don't want nobody to know about. It's like a flip of a switch.
Yeah, and I get that. But my thing is, everybody ain't got to know you got those kinks.
Yeah.
So, it's okay to be a lady in the day and a freak at night. You know that song? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Keep it class.
Yeah, keep it moral.
Yeah.
Like, everybody ain't got to know that you like certain things.
Right.
That's only should be between you and your partner. Like, men, like, see all those women on Instagram and ain't knocking it. Do you, honey? They expose their nakedness, and the men on Instagram liking it. But they don't want their woman like that.
Right.
They don't want other men looking at their woman like that.
Exactly.
Or you see, have maybe a coworker at work talking about I like this and this Coke bottle and this and that. But then when you see them out in public, their wife don't look like a Coke bottle.
Right.
You know, a lot of people we wear all these masks. Again, if you like what you like what you like. Nobody's knocking that. But why everybody got to be in your bedroom?
Right.
Why we can't get back to keeping it, I ain't gonna say down low. keeping it a mystery. Like, you could be dressed like a nun, but you could be the wildest thing, but nobody knows except for who you been wild with. You don't know. But to everybody else, oh, she timid or missionary, you know.
Ain't nothing wrong with
But they don't know. They don't know what you're doing. You might be got whips and chains. But that ain't for them to know.
Right.
That's for whoever you with to know. Okay. So there's ways of doing things, okay, without saying too much.
Right.
So I'm going to shut up on that. You got anything is cool? I'm starting to stop up again. So I'm gonna get to this dear Jen. Excuse me. Dear Jen, I want to tell you about Sarah and Mike, who seem to have it all. A loving relationship, great communication, and a strong emotional connection. They were the life of any party when invited. They painted the town red, literally. But little did they know their relationship was going to take a dramatic turn. It started with a casual conversation about their desires and boundaries. But as time passed, those discussions became less frequent. The lines blurred. Mike, being more outgoing one, began to push the limits, assuming Sarah was comfortable with everything. But Sarah, being the introverted one, felt overwhelmed and unheard. As months went by, Sarah started to feel like her boundaries were being constantly disregarded. She expressed her discomfort, but Mike would brush it off, thinking she was being too sensitive. The tension between them grew, and the conversation about boundaries became more heated. Sarah felt like she was walking on eggshells, unsure of how to express her feelings without being judged or rejected. Mike, on the other hand, felt like he was being restricted, like his desires were being unfairly suppressed. One night, things came to a head. Mike crossed the boundary that Sarah had repeatedly emphasized was non-negotiable. The emotions that followed were raw and intense. Anger, hurt, and a deep sense of betrayal. The argument that ensued was brutal, and both partners saying things they couldn't take back. The aftermath was devastating, and the relationship was left hanging by a thread. Both partners was left wondering, how did things get out of hand? Looking back, it's clear that the problem wasn't the boundaries themselves, but the lack of respect and clear communication. The gradual erosion of trust and the assumption that everything was fine had led them to this point. One night, Mike realized that his partner's boundaries weren't meant to restrict him, but to protect her. It was a harsh lesson, but one that changed their relationship for forever. In the end, it's crucial to recognize and respect your partner's boundaries. It isn't about limiting your own desires, but about creating a safe and loving environment. Communication is key. It is essential to prioritize empathy and understanding in your relationship. Don't assume you know what your partner is comfortable with. Ask, listen, and respect their boundaries. Although I felt bad for my friend, how should she operate moving forward? Excuse me.
I don't feel like she did nothing wrong.
Well, maybe she might need to speak a little louder or set those boundaries. Well, she set boundaries, but he wasn't hearing them. So she had to do something to get his attention. I would say fall back, and that's ways of getting his attention if you just cut him off. It's easier said than done, of course, but how else can you get his attention? Don't give it up. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, definitely have to go back and rethink some things and just take it from there. Just go back and look at how things are, how things were, and how you want it to be. And you set him down and tell him what you don't want, what you do want, and give him a chance to explain why he is, why he's not, and see if you can have some type of maybe some compromise going going on there, you know. But definitely, but you want to make sure that he hears you,
Right.
you know, that he is understanding. So it won't be nothing that comes out, well, you didn't tell me. You didn't make it plain, you know, making it plain right now.
Yeah. And if he loved you at all, then he should be more understanding. But she said that he felt like he was being restricted and unfairly suppressed. To me, that sounds a little selfish because it really wasn't about him. He all good and ready to go, and she's like, no, 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 back up. And she made it clear that she didn't want what he was offering, for lack of better words. But obviously he wasn't hearing her. So, like sis said, you gotta compromise.
It used to just be just simple. Now it's just kind of like partners want to put you in a bind, like, you know, like that you feel like you gotta do this or you gotta do that, even if you are uncomfortable. So what's the use if one person is getting what they need and then the other party is not? You
Right.
know, that frustrates anybody. Yeah, anybody. It will frustrate them because they'll be like, well, what is it doing for me? And so God has given us a beautiful thing. It is, you got to be careful how you treat each other. You just can't come raggedy. You just can't come demanding, you know, and just like you want to be pleased, the other person wants to be pleased too. And so you got to find a way to work out that whole situation right there. Don't let it be just about you. The thing of it is supposed to be is the woman is supposed to please her husband.
Yes.
And the husband is supposed to please his wife.
Right. Yeah, it's a two-way street. It ain't supposed to be all about him now.
Right.
Both of y'all supposed to be in it. Take two to tango.
Exactly.
And y'all want to tango together. And I know it can't all the time be that way. You can't all, but you got to work on it until you get to the point where his desires are being met and her desires, not just one person, because that's not the way it works. Okay.
Well,
y'all grown. Y'all should know that.
You're pregnant and you're tired, but you just don't want to be bothered, but you just do because you don't want to leave the other person, you know, hanging. Or I mean, I've heard of people that has, you know, had problems where medical problems, but you know, they went on to you know, wanted to please their spouses, you know, and they didn't really get a lot out of it, but what they could do on the physical that didn't touch the emotion side of them, that physical took care of, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's situation is different.
Right.
So. What you might do in your household, they might not do in theirs.
Right.
A lot of times you be like, I got a headache. I don't feel like it tonight. So if you can't talk into it, you got to accept that.
Right.
Unless you're going to step outside the relationship and cause even more problems. You don't want to be doing that. It ain't even worth it. Come on now. Let's be real here.
Right.
You can wait. Quit being so selfish.
Right.
That sound like I'm judging. Forget that. Yeah, have a conversation. Find out why she got a headache. Give her a massage. You might run her a bath. Might make her feel better. Then she might treat you right.
Might.
Yeah. But y'all, by now, y'all should know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, then you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast. Anywho, I guess I'm done. What about y'all?
Yeah.
All right, thank you for joining us. You can follow us on Facebook or TikTok at Check That Post Podcast, and on YouTube at Check That Post Pod. Hit the like and subscribe button so you know every time we go live. or upload a new episode. You can write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com or text 866-311-2251. Thank you for joining us. Good evening. Anytime.
Oh, check this. Check that, check that, blow, blow. Check that, check that, check that, blow, blow. Check that,
With yours truly, Gentleman Nelson. Yo, it's a family affair.
blow, blow. Check that, blow, blow.